Morning, this is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. So proud to be with you today. Moses broke the tablets. Over in Exodus chapter 32, we find that Moses went up onto the mountain to spend 40 days with God. And he had a job, a task. He was over some 2.5, 3 million people. And while Moses was gone, and it came to pass as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, he's coming down off the mountain now, and this is verse 19 of chapter 32, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moses' anger waxed hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hand and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made, and burned it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strew it upon the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. And Moses said unto Aaron, What did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them? The blame went on Aaron. He was second man in command. He was a man that was given charge. Yet he allowed the children to murmur, complain, and to coerce him into doing something that was opposite of what God would have. And we need to be very careful of that in this day and age. We need to watch ourselves. The Moses that we have over us, the preacher that we have over us in the church, is a Moses. He is given to us to run the church. If he's gone for a few days, we are not to murmur and complain. We are not to make a golden calf. We are to follow the orders that he leaves behind and get on the ball and do something. And Aaron said, Let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, Make us gods, which we shall go before us. For this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what it become of him. And I said unto them, Whosoever hath any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it unto the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moses saw the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies. How were they naked? They were naked two ways. They were not just naked without clothes, like today. We have people actually running around totally naked today, and we have people running around so naked that you wouldn't even know they had clothes. Their clothes don't cover them. But not only that, they were naked of God. They were void of what God said for them to do. They had got beside themselves with this Moses that didn't do the way they felt like he should have done, that was gone longer than they felt like he should have been gone. This was a wimpy crowd, if you please. I say that lightly in a sense that if I had to eat manna every day for 40 years, I might not like it either. And if I had the same exact diet every day for 40 years, I might not exactly like it either. But God did not create the body for food. He created food for the body. And that we are to eat to be healthy, not to eat because we enjoy eating so much. But to eat is a necessity. It's like putting gasoline in the car so that your engine will run so that you can get somewhere. And if you do not put spiritual food in your life, you will put the opposite. And if you put the opposite, you're going to be in trouble. You are going to be in trouble if you feed yourself with the opposite food than what you need. So you need to feed yourself on a daily basis with the Bible food. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, "Who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me." And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, Put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor." And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moses had said, "Consecrate yourself today to the Lord, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day." Moses is saying, if you want a blessing from God, you need to get forgiveness. You need to ask God to forgive you and get it behind you. Otherwise, you're going to be slain. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, "Oh, this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them gods of gold. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive this sin," in verse 32, "and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written." Boy, here's a man that came. It came up for the people. In spite of the fact of what they've done, he said, if you won't forgive him, just blot me out of the book. Just make it, do it, blot me out. And the Lord said unto Moses, "Whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. Therefore now go lead the people into the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when, and we're in Exodus chapter 32, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them. And the Lord plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made." And then right after that, in chapter 33, they had to move the tabernacle in the wilderness. If you will read about how it was made and put together, and the job that it was to move the tabernacle. In verse 12 of 33, Moses prays for God's presence. It said, "And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, Bring up the people, and thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight." Wow. Verse 12 is probably one of the greatest verses in the whole Bible. Did you know that Noah found grace in the sight of the Lord? Did you know there were only 4 or 5 people in that day that could wear that title? That they found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Do you know Moses broke the tablets? When he came down, he broke the tablets. But he didn't break fellowship with God. But you know the people sinned, but Moses also sinned. He got angry and broke the tablets and caused great grief in his own life and the life of the others, and had to go right back up on the mountain and fast again 40 more days and nights and get a new set of tablets written, because he got angry and stepped out of the will of the Lord for a few minutes, for a second or two. Verse 13, "Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, Show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. And he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us up hence. Moses said, if your presence doesn't go with me, then just carry us on up hence, he said. Just carry us away from here if your presence doesn't go with us. And carry us on up to heaven is what he's saying. And the Lord said unto Moses, I will do this thing also that thou hast spoken, for thou hast found grace in my sight, and I have known thee by name. He knew who you remember Adam? You remember when God came to the garden, what did he say? Adam? Adam? You remember Samuel? He said, Samuel? Samuel? And here he says, Moses. And he said, Moses, I've known you by name. And he said, I beseech thee, show me thy glory. And he said, I will make all my goodness pass before thee, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before thee, and I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, thou canst not see my face, for there shall no man see me and live. Verse 20 of 33 says, no man will see me and live. What he's saying is, it would frighten you to death. You would actually burn up if you saw me, or it's too much. I'm too much light. You can't look at as much light as I am and live. And the Lord said, behold, there is a place by me, and thou shalt stand upon a rock. And it shall come to pass, while my glory passeth by, that I will put thee in the cleft of the rock, and will cover thee with my hand while I pass by. Hey, God's so close to Moses, he puts his hand out and covers him. So there's a shadow right here. Here's this big hand of God shadowing over Moses. And I will take away mine hand, and thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. He's going to see Moses, like he's going to see God for a split second as he passes by. He's going to see his back part. Now, here Moses is, he's on the mountain. The second time here in chapter 33 and chapter 34, and he has a new set of tablets. And in the next excerpt, we're going to look at what happens when he brings that new set of tablets down, and what happens to a gainsaying and a complaining people that are in that group, and who are not willing to accept God's way as the way they should go. And if you're in the way of God, and you have a pastor over you, that pastor is a Moses. You better be very careful how you bring any kind of railing accusation against God's lead man, because he's God's lead man. Hey, when you're working in a cotton mill, the lead man says do something, whether you like it or not, you do it. But no matter where you're working, whatever the lead man says, you do. And you're not to complain about it or have anything to say about it. That's the same way in a church. If God's man's the leader and he said do it, do it. If a gangsayer comes to you and complains about this or that, you must tell him. Say, you go complain to the head man. You do it. You complain to the head man. Somebody's going to get their head chopped off. You go get yours chopped off. I don't need to get mine chopped off. God's got too much for me to do for me to fool with that. I must go now. See you.